All right, ladies and gents, welcome back. Here we are live once again. We've been away for a couple of weeks. Marty, you were away for a hike, and then I was away because I've been on a a new odyssey of sorts in my life. And yeah, Yuji, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
back and helping out with the show tonight. I'm doing this on my cell phone because I don't have my equipment right now, and I can't do what we normally do because of that. So we're doing kind of like what happened when I was in Japan. So Yuji, thank you so much for that. It's
yeah, kind of cool,
you're
eh?
so helpful.
We're on three time zones right now. So Clyde has now moved ahead of me. Like he used to be behind, now you've moved ahead.
I'm Central Time now. Yeah, Central in Central Texas. So I'm excited. This is new. So for everybody who's just tuning in, maybe you just seen this for the first time. Maybe you just subscribed to the channel because you saw some of the shorts or you watched one of the videos that I put out in the mornings. This is the Wednesday Marty and Clyde show. This happens every Wednesday, same time. We actually might push this show earlier, depending on how everybody sees it, because now I'm starting the show at 8:30 at night in Texas, and 7:30 for you, Marty.
Yeah.
It used to be 6:30 for me on the Pacific Coast. It still is for everybody who's still on the Pacific Coast. But yeah, we're doing this quite late for us, so we might be able to push it back earlier, so even more people from the east can watch this show at a decent hour. But yeah, so we've been doing this for going on, it's over 3 years now.
It's almost
Going
gonna
on
be
four
it's gonna
years.
be 4 years in September. Like it's just around the corner, 4 years.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
all started with this viral clip that you had, or a viral thing that you had, a tweet that went out. I asked you to come on the show, and then it took off from there. We just started doing it regularly.
Yep.
So welcome everybody for this. If you're watching this live, then this is the perfect opportunity. During the second half of the show, we're gonna address the audience that's live watching the show. If you're watching this after the fact, tune in live. Tune in live when we do this every Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern, whatever time zone that is for you. And then when we change things, we'll announce it. We'll let you know what time we end up settling on, because yeah, it's again, it's quite late. Sun's going down here. Tune in for the second part of the show. Then we'll be talking with you guys live. The first part of the show, first hour, Marty and I are going to be talking about all the events that have happened. It's usually in the last week, but it's going to be in the last 3 weeks now because we haven't gotten this show out for a couple of weeks. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
there
you're
we are.
you're you're relatively far south now compared to me, right? I mean, so we're in a different time zone, but by being so far south, your days are shorter. You're going to notice that, right? You're going to notice
I've
that,
already
like,
noticed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how the kids will feel or react to it, but it is noticeable, right? Like suddenly, like 6 o'clock, and the sun starts to go down over the horizon, and you can feel it. It's interesting.
So yeah, it's sundown. It's dark at 9:30, and it's the summer, right?
Yeah,
We're in the summer months where, where I used to live in British Columbia, it would be twilight until, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night in the summer. But then inversely, it gets very dark very early in the winter in Canada. It doesn't do that. We're closer to the equator, so
yeah.
we don't get the long solstices or long and short solstices. It's a lot different.
So, are we starting the show? Like, clue us in. How was the
Yeah.
drive? Like, I mean, I want to talk. I know we want to talk about a lot of things. We always do,
Yeah.
but let's keep this one maybe a little on the social side for starters. The viewers want to know. Everybody keeps asking me. I mean, I was at an event today. I went to a Stampede barbecue, and everybody's like, "Where's Clyde? Where's Clyde?" So tell us, where the hell are you?
Now
Like,
that this is about me. Okay, that's cool. So I've been, haven't been too shy about telling people that my goal was to move to Texas. That we've been putting this in our sights for some time. There's a bunch of issues with immigration and all that. I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife isn't, so we had to sort all of that stuff out, and that takes time and money and all that other stuff. So we got all of these things sorted out with professional help, with a good lawyer and a team of people over at the bridge. You met Sandro. He's been on the show several times. He's been helpful for that, and his whole team. That's great. So if you're thinking about doing this and you want to move to the United States, go visit move to the USA.com. That's move to the number two, the USA.com. And they'll help you out. He's been helping me out because there's a lot more to it than just getting in and getting visas and stuff. Your credit doesn't transfer over, a bunch of stuff. You got to move money, you got to move finances, you got to set up a house and all of this stuff, bank accounts, all that. So we had to do that, and that took some time. And when we pulled the plug and we decided we're going, we're heading off. And so yeah, we uh, packed up our things. We found, like, we made a few visits and we found a place. And when we came down for a visit, it was like it's available. So okay, uh, time to pull the
Well,
plug
and
and make it happen.
I remember you told me even doing something like that. Like it's not like you just walk in where you see a for rent sign and say, "Hey, I'll take it," right? Like you had to go. Even renting is different than it is up here. There's a legal aspect to it, or an agency aspect to it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. You have to go through and you need to use an agent, and everything works through agencies. Nobody's just listing a house on Craigslist and you're renting it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone's going through an agency. I don't know what the legal is about that, but it's the
So
rigmarole, and you have to go through it. That's
yeah,
what
so
you got
right
to
now
do.
you're in the kitchen in your new place, right? You're
Yes,
in
because it's empty and we
empty.
don't have our stuff. And this is what I'm going to get to. So, this is some of the headaches you might run into if you're making a move. We hired an agency to move our stuff. They picked up our stuff, and then communications have been pretty bad, like across the board. I'm not going to say right now who it was and all that. Maybe I'll do a video explaining how everything went down and maybe recommendations for how to do it better. But our stuff was supposed to be sent like over a week ago, and it still hasn't been sent. It's still
Yeah.
in Canada waiting to go.
So at this point, you are basically living out of wwhatever you could carry in your car because you drove
That's
down
right.
there, right? You didn't fly
That's
down
right.
there; you drove down there. So whatever was that, whatever was in your car is.
Yeah. It was a good drive though. Holy cow. So yes, I think it's like 37 hours. So pretty much a work week of driving. And I have a sister in Washington. We got to visit with her. That was fantastic. Kids loved that. She enjoyed that. We enjoyed that. And then we hit the road and we drove through several states along the way. So Kitty Corner through Washington, touched a little bit of Oregon, and then into Utah, and drove the whole state of Utah. Visited Salt Lake City, cool place.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
you mentioning how wide the roads are there in the downtown area, and it's crazy. So there's no traffic downtown. It's kind of
The
weird
whole state of
because
Utah is an interesting state, right? I mean, it's a
yeah,
very, yeah, I think that somebody explained to me that the roads had been designed very wide in Salt Lake City to accommodate like two teams of like 8 horses or 16 horses or something like that. Like
yeah,
there's a real historical basis. Yeah, cool. So then from, my geography escapes me, from Utah, then you would go into,
New Mexico.
oh, right, New Mexico. Yeah, yeah.
Right into New Mexico, and we had to cross that state. And so, you drive to Albuquerque, and then it would be like right into Texas from there. And we're like, well, why don't we take a detour? And we went to Roswell, New Mexico
Oh,
to vi-
cool.
to see the alien stuff, and we got to go to the alien museum, and we went on a tour. This guy, he runs a tour. It was fantastic, and it's all historical, like what historically happened at the incident in Roswell. He doesn't get into like the UFO stuff, like create like abductions and whatnot. He goes into more, something crashed here. There was bodies that were found, and here's what all the details of how that went down. And he takes you to the different places around town where it all went happen. It's really cool because I didn't know that the air base there was like a Cold War air base. So it was a
Oh,
military
yeah,
runway
yeah.
that they would have. I think it was like 6 or 8 B-52s loaded with nukes, ready to go at the ready at any
Well, it's
time.
also, I mean, it's also in the vicinity of Los Alamos, right? The
Yeah.
nuclear, that whole. I mean, it's deep in the inside of the U.S. It doesn't appear that way, but it is far from any coast, and it's protected. That's why, and it was out of sight, right? In the 50s and the 40s, that part of the world was out of sight. I mean, most Americans did not just randomly go visit Los Alamos or
Roswell,
Roswell
New
or place.
Mexico.
Yeah, no, those were hard to
I mean,
reach
it's a one
places.
horse town back in the day,
Yeah,
and it's remote. It's Area 51.
yeah.
So that's where they say that is at Los Alamos. We didn't go up to that, but we went in. We went to visit there. It was a little bit of a detour before we got into Texas, and then we got into, and we're in the greater Austin area, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's, what's amazing is you mention to people, yeah, we're new here. We just moved here from Canada, and the first words out of their mouth is always welcome.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I was
it
going to
just
joke
comes
about
out.
that. I
It's
mean,
just
did they set
amazing.
out the welcoming mat for you? I'm sure there's you'll feel it. You'll feel welcomed, right? I mean, yeah, it's the land of opportunity. They're welcoming. We're going to experience. I look forward to that aspect of the show going forward. Like, every week from now on, you'll give us a little bit of a slice of life in your new setting, and explain to us what Americans are like in real terms, and how they are
Mhm.
different than Canadians, right?
Well,
So
I went to the gun store today to talk to the guys at the gun store, because I was looking for a rifle that my son can shoot because he can't shoulder most firearms. He's young, right? So went in to talk with them, and one guy, he moved when he was young, when he was younger, from Calgary. He was from the Calgary area. And yeah, he went into some nostalgia and all that stuff, but then also saying, yeah, welcome to a place where we love our guns.
yeah,
And
yeah. And then you were traveling through the states in an incredibly cool time, right? You went through what's the term for the 250th? I mean, there's a fancy term for it, but you were you in the
oh yeah,
US
the
on July
name of that.
4th, or
I
you
can't
were in
remember the name. It's like Quinta something Centennial. Yeah,
Quinticentennial?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But you were
Yeah.
there for that, right? Like, where did
Yes.
you physically spend New Year or July 4th?
So this is the great news. So we didn't know how we would get here or what time we would get here because it's such a long drive. And we managed to get to our town uh on the 4th, like on the 4th. And because we didn't get our keys to our new place, we just got a hotel in town, booked one online, and then stayed there. We got our place on the 5th, which was my birthday, by the way, which was awesome. But yeah, we got here on the 4th, and we were able to take the family to a 4th of July celebration and watch the fireworks. So it was
Oh,
awesome.
well,
And we
yeah.
got to
So
meet
happy
some of the
birthday, happy
locals.
belated birthday. Yeah, I mean, as a contrast to Canada and the U.S., I got, people know I went on a hike, and I came out a day before July, 2 days before July 1st. I did
Mhm.
nothing on July 1st here. It's like the third year in a row now where, to me, July 1st, Canada Day, meant absolutely nothing. And then even around my neighborhood, no fireworks in town, nothing. Like, it's like our country, they have succeeded in turning us into a post-national state. Like, nobody has pride in this anymore. I still have pride. Honestly, I do still have pride in Canada, and a certain amount of pride, but not enough to want to go out now and party like I used to. It's really sad what we've done to our country. Like,
Yeah, well, it is
yeah,
really sad. And what was it? Uh Spencer Pratt, who ran for mayor of LA recently. He lost because they cheated to get him to lose. But he's been going on a warpath, warning about what happens with these communists that come into play. And he's not shy about it. Even Trump hasn't been shy about it, just calling them out for what they are. Stop with the sappy sounding democratic socialists. They're communists. I mean,
they're
this
coming.
is
Yeah,
what they're Marxists. They're proud to talk about Marxism and all this other stuff. And what do? Spencer Pratt pointed it out perfectly in one of his videos on social media. They want to destroy your culture. They want to alienate you from your what it is that defined your nation as a whole. They want to remove all. they say, "Oh, we're just removing the bad bits," but they remove everything. They remove you from your culture.
It,
They remove your culture from your country, and they've been successful, unfortunately, in Canada. I've watched this happen for years and years. When I got back from Japan, I was pushing for my friends to come out and celebrate, go to the parade every Canada Day, and celebrate and go to the fireworks. But every year, our municipalities would find new excuses to spend less on the celebration, bring in other things like some indigenous, retribution stuff on Canada Day, and it's damaged the culture so tremendously that people don't feel any sort of sense of pride in it anymore, and it's sad.
and you know what's been interesting this week, these last couple of weeks. So I'll bring it into this, but these last couple of weeks, the World Cup is underway, right? The soccer World Cup is underway in
Oh,
Spain
right,
or in
yeah.
Canada, US, and Mexico. One of the star teams that's come out on top during the World Cup right now is Norway, right? And Norway
Oh,
is a little
okay.
country of 5 million people. Norway's going to make it to the semifinals. Like they're rocking it. And suddenly, like all around here, even in the news, everybody's like, "Bravo, Norway!" Right? And they're what are they applauding? Like Norway has a little ritual. The whole country, like they get together on the field before the game and they all row in
Oh,
like it to the drum, right? But then you look at them and they're like, no diversity on that team. Like the whole team is, I'll say it, they're all white guys, they're all Vikings,
they're
and
all
they're
natives to
they're
their
all they're
country as
not
well.
promoting diversity. Their philosophy is no, we're a common culture. And
Mhm.
so and everything that they're doing that is being applauded, when we try to do it, we were chastised for doing it, right? Like we're supposed to be
Mhm.
diverse, we're supposed to be all of this. And it's like, yeah, it's been frustrating. I'm pumped for Norway. I'm so happy for Norway, but
Well, you
it's
could
been
go even
frustrating.
further and say, well, they're rowing because that's what they would do on Viking ships when they would invade people
Totally,
and all
totally.
this stuff. But I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
see it like it's a cultural thing that people are brought together, and we should
Yeah,
absolutely
they
be
have a
celebrating
successful
it.
nation because they have one culture and unity and conformity, and it's applauded for them. And when we try and promote one culture, uniformity, and conformity, we get slapped on the wrist. So
Yeah, you get
yeah.
chastised for it. But I
Yeah.
see it here in America,
Cheers, by the way. I've been saving.
cheers.
I don't have an American beer, but I got something. I got an export of some sort. I got a Corona. So cheers.
I got a drink in my party cup because we don't have any dishes here. Unbelievable. So yeah, here in America, you'll see it a lot. Um, it's a stark difference to Canada because, especially because we were on the road and we were stopping at fast food places and all kinds of spots along the way, whether it's Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or In and Out Burger, McDonald's, all of the things. I would point it out to my wife and say, "We went through the drive-through at McDonald's. What did you notice?" She's like, "I don't know what." I said, "They're all Americans.
They're all
There's no
Americans.
there's no temporary foreign anything going on over here." Now, there are calls from Democrats to bring that kind of system about. And believe me, I'll be at the legislature saying, "I lived in Canada. I saw what this does, and this is not something you want to vote for." So
Yeah,
it's a stark
yeah.
difference.
I'm just looking at the comments. Somebody in one of the comments said nylon 66. I don't know if you saw that. Nylon 66 22 long rifle. When you were talking about getting a short rifle for the kids, that's what somebody said. I have a nylon 66, but it's a 1966 model. Like they're very rare. They're cute little
Oh,
semi-automatics. But yeah, that comment. Historical gun. First gun to have a synthetic stock.
yeah, a lot of people tell me to get a Ruger 10/22. I like that gun. It's reliable. It's fantastic. But the stock on them just doesn't fit my son.
For
We've
for
gone and
for
shot that gun.
for kids, this is just my advice. Ruger is a beautiful rifle, but it's semi-automatic. For younger kids, I always start with a bolt action. Even like
Yeah.
I never, even my kids, watching them closely, I just never felt comfortable when little Raymond, 9 years old, is behind me with a semi-auto. Like they forget quickly that every pull of the trigger is so the little bolt actions gives a lot of discipline, and I'm sure you'll find something fantastic. And then
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we'll find something that'll suit him for a little while when he's tiny,
yeah.
and it will cost hardly anything. That's the beauty of this. Went to the gun store and everything's pretty reasonably priced. Even when they were legal in Canada, pistols and whatnot were still like twice the price in Canada.
Savage makes nice little 22s, but that's is that a Canadian company? You probably get Savage and God, no, I'm not even going
They
to
have
suggest
they
anything
have
because
Savage right at the Walmart. Yeah,
you're
you can
gonna
buy them
get
there.
you're gonna get Savage at the Walmart. Like what we have under lock and key and have to beg. Can I see that one, please, sir? You guys see them at the Walmart. You have better stuff at the Walmart than we have at a full blown gun store. That's
Uh,
insane.
so
Yeah,
I went to the gun store and I said, you know, oh, I don't have my Texas driver's license yet. I have an appointment on Monday to go get it. He's like, well, we'll see you Tuesday then. You
yeah.
know, he's
Actually, there's
they.
a
Yeah, go
there's
ahead.
a there's a nice viral clip that's made the rounds on Twitter and Instagram and places like that. It's a comedian talking about how get a gun. How the Americans, how the Second Amendment was get a gun, right? They founded a new nation, and then the first words they realized they needed to change to their constitution was get a gun. And then he's like, the actual First Amendment was say whatever you want, but then they realize in order to say whatever you want, you better get a gun first. And that whole clip's gone viral. And then when I listen to it, and then I look at Canada and go, yeah, they're taking away our guns, they're taking away our free speech, they're taking away our courts, they're taking away everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, well,
Like
that's my goal
it's just
is
getting worse. But yeah,
to tell people, especially in America, because I think you talk to Americans about what's happening in Canada, and they're just clueless.
right.
They just don't know, right? And it's not because well, for one part, they don't care that much. I mean, especially in the South, why would they care that much? But on top of it, they're just not being told what's happening in Canada, and I think for good reason because I think if Americans really knew what was happening in Canada, they'd be up in arms about what the Democrats are doing because the Democrats are trying to push the same thing that the liberals have been pushing successfully in Canada for some time.
Right.
And I really want to spread this message like no, this can happen. Yes, you do have a better you have a better founding document. You have the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but it's only as good as the people that are willing to sit there and protect it. So if what happened in Canada is that they have the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, they trampled on it. They trampled on it, and all the branches of government were happy to just go along with that. So this can happen in America. You have to really stress this to Americans that it's important to know what's happening in your neighboring country.
Yeah, here I always say to people here, if you want to see what's going to happen to us next, go look at Europe, right? Go look at at England
Mhm.
in particular and France. And yes, Americans are probably saying the same thing. If you want to see what's going to happen to us or what could happen to us, I'm still pretty confident that the Americans have a lot of systems in place to resist the kind of tyranny that we're having. Like I
And you
still
have a lot more people that are willing to resist. I
yes.
find in America, there's a cultural thing in Canada to just go along to get along and let people just get away with stuff, including the government getting away with stuff. In America, they're not quick to let that
No,
happen.
and there's the real historic fact that Americans fought for their freedom.
Yes.
How they how 1776 versus 1867 for Canada, two totally different things, right?
Yeah.
The Americans fought for theirs, and then the king went, ooh. When he started seeing us getting a little upset, he basically said, I better give him a few carrots and quiet the peasants. And we didn't fight for our freedom. We had something given to us that looked like freedom, but really wasn't.
Well, you have to understand too. So after 1776 in America, a lot of the British loyalists they had their rights stripped from them because there were traitors to the country that was just founded,
Yeah.
and so they weren't allowed to run for office. They weren't allowed to hold property. They weren't allowed for a lot of things. So a lot of them, where did they go? They
Headed
went to
north.
Upper and Lower Canada, is what it was
Yep.
called at the time, British territories, and they literally more than doubled the population that actually existed in what became Canada, and they came with a big chip on their shoulder, and I think that's the origin of all this elbows up crap, especially in the eastern provinces in Canada, because you don't see a lot of the same
It's
hang-ups as you see
it,
like in the West. You
it's
don't
it's
see
a
that.
it's a source of pride for a lot of Canadians in that part of the world to be able to trace their family history to loyalists. They're very proud of that. Like it's a very it's
Mhm.
it's yeah, it's something they're proud of. kind of like Australians being proud of being descendants of convicts, right? Completely different beast in Australia. Like in Australia, if it was a penal colony, and if the real Australians are the ones that are like, my ancestors were crooks. Oh, okay, good for you.
That's hilarious. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't get, I can't I guess associate with the pride and the loyalist thing, because I mean, where did that get Canada anyway, right? Like America went on to become the greatest economy in the world, the greatest military power. A lot of people look at the history through the lens of what it is now. They don't look at it that, the United States fought off twice in two wars, I get a group of colonies of farmers, right? Fought off the greatest empire, military power that had ever existed in the world to that point. They beat them in 1776. And believe it or not, they won in the War of 1812. People think that it was about land dispute and getting more land. No, it was about the British, abducting Americans, conscripting them into military service, and sending them to fight the French. It was about blockades on their trade routes. It was about embargoes. It was about that. And all of that was resolved after the War of 1812. So I would say that that was a victory.
Yeah, yeah. So cool on you. So you're in Austin now. How big is Austin? Like about 3-4 million people, right? Maybe even bigger than that.
No, Austin proper is 1 million people, but then if you go into the outskirts of it, like each town is like 80,000, 100,000.
Yeah,
There's a lot
yeah.
of little towns. So
I mean,
yeah,
you're in a
it's
state
probably a
as a
couple million.
whole. The state of Texas almost has as many people as Canada, maybe even more, right? Like Texas is a
Yes,
big
somewhere around
state, and
38 to 40 million people. It's
that
up
is
there.
that is, and it doesn't feel that crowded. I've been to Texas many times. I mean, it's crowded by my standards. It is crowded, but it still doesn't feel that crowded. I mean, they
No.
like any place, it's concentrated in some major towns, right? Sure, you got Dallas, Houston, and places like that, but you can still head into. I mean, you'll discover it. You can get into East Texas and just disappear, man. You can be lost in
Oh yeah.
East Texas. Like it's
Well,
well,
yeah. And we went through West Texas, right? And there's all these little one horse towns that existed at one point and kind of dried up. There was a
yeah.
lot of cool places that we stopped along the way. There was one spot in Nevada that was like this one horse little town, and I was like, why do people even live here? So I asked someone we stopped for gas, and I asked someone, look, what is the history of this town? And he's like, oh, this used to be a uranium mining town during the Second World War, and that's the only reason why people moved out here. And that dried up, and so when the town dried up, some people stuck around, and then they got into farming and other things. But a town sprung up, and you see all these gas stations that are just like they were just left. Pumps are still there and stuff, like they just left it. And it's just abandoned for the most part. But yeah,
It
that's what happens. An
yeah,
industry will
it's a
spring
great.
up, and then it'll dry up, and then that's it.
Did you do a section of Route 66? Were you on Route 66 for any of your? No, you weren't, right?
So we passed a spot that had historic Route 66, but I heard from people like don't drive it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Don't drive it, but I mean,
yeah.
you're describing the little places that you see in the movies all the time, right? It's the Thelma and Louise. It's the No Country for Old Men. I mean, they go out there
Yeah.
and they film, and there's no shortage of old, abandoned, or nearly abandoned gas stations.
Yeah, and you can tell the era that they were abandoned because the gas pumps will be different ones. The
Right.
really, really old ones are all ripped out because those are like antiques and people want to collect
Want to
them.
collect them? Yeah.
But you'll see the ones you're like, oh, this one shut down in the 90s. Oh, this one shut down in the 80s. Oh, that shut down in the 70s. You can tell by the pumps. It's incredible.
Cool. Awesome. Well, no, I'm glad you're there. That's awesome. That's super awesome. And then the kids will be all excited. And then they got what? Yeah, they got a month or two to get excited and then settle in. So they'll go to a new school. How's their overall? I mean,
They love it.
they love
They
it.
love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were sad to leave their friends, but on the few trips that we came down here, I got them shooting guns, and we went to a water park because there's so many things to do around here. They were just excited to
They're
come.
not going to miss winter. Nobody's going to miss winter. How,
No,
I mean,
but it's hot right now. Like, so you have to
oh,
understand it is hot. And people warn me like, oh, Clyde, you don't know heat until you've been in the Texas heat in the summer, and it's hot. Like, believe me, it is incredibly hot. You just
We've talked about this, right? I consider myself a cold weather kind of person.
Mhm.
It's 28 degrees outside right now, and I'm dying. I'm dying. Like, if it hits 30, 32, which is, yeah, you're probably in the 35 range right now, which is maybe not. How hot is it out
Oh
there
yeah,
today?
yeah. No, it's just like 35,
35.
36.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it on Fahrenheit.
We saw 40 last week.
Like when you
It's
put it on the
32 right
Fahrenheit
now, but it's
scale
in
and
the
it hits
evening.
100. Yeah, like put that on the Fahrenheit scale. Like what's 100 Fahrenheit? Put that into context for me. Is
A
137?
100.
No, 100 Fahrenheit is what in Celsius? It's
I don't know the conversion. Yeah, I think it's like
yeah,
times two plus 32.
it's pretty hot,
Um,
right? You see that. Like that's a scary number. Like when I see the American weather maps and you go 100, holy shit. Like 100 Fahrenheit's
yeah.
hot.
We've seen
Yeah.
100. When we were in Roswell, it was 103 outside.
Ugh, I just got a heat stroke just thinking about that. Jesus.
Thank
37.
you,
Yeah.
Yuji.
Yeah,
$37.
you can't even cool off, man. That's your body temperature. Like you're not cooling off. At that point, when it's 37 degrees, or when it's 100 degrees Celsius, no matter how much you sweat, you're not cooling off
No,
because
no, you're not.
yeah, do not
But
leave the kids in
we
the
got a
car.
pool at
That's
the end
no
of the
joke.
block. So it's nice in Texas. Almost the end of every block has a pool that you'll have access to through your community or whatever. And yeah, we went for a swim and it was fantastic just this afternoon. It's beautiful. And cools you off real quick to have a
Right on.
dip. Yeah.
So, do we want
So
to get into a couple of stories for the folks, or what do we want
well,
to do?
yeah, I want to talk about I want to talk about what's happening with the bailout. We didn't even have a chance to talk about this bailout that Mark Carney is doing for the Vancouver real estate market. It's
Oh,
unreal what's happening there. So, if for anyone who hasn't heard, so Mark Carney came forward and he said, "Oh yeah, all these people who built condos in Vancouver. So they got into this market. They got into it in the frenzy of, well, everyone's getting rich, selling whatever dumpty little property because who cares? Someone's gonna buy it. They'll sit on it for a year and then they'll flip it, and
they
it'll just keep
speculated. They got
increasing.
into.
Yeah.
They were speculators. Absolutely.
And so the condo market has tanked in Canada. And it's the beginning of the burst of the housing bubble. And realtors don't want to talk about this because they're scared because they're going to lose all their commissions. They're not going to they're going to make any more money. Life is not going back to what it was when this boom was happening. Now we're entering the burst of the bubble, but Mark Carney is doing his best to stave off, well, himself and other friends from losing out on this whole thing. So they speculated into it, and they should lose. They should absolutely lose if the market flips on them, and they
So
all. Yeah, go ahead.
let's put Yuji on the spot real quick. Yuji, can you try and find? So Mark Carney has a clip from about 2011 or 2012 where he talks about this exact subject and how back then we should let them fail. Like he was blunt a decade ago. He's like, they need to fail because that's the proper correction mechanism. I don't know if he has time to, but what he did this week, it actually backfired on him. I mean, people saw what he was doing with this condo bailout and got upset really, really quickly. But I'll finish on how it all ties in. I mean, this week we saw the horse trading that was going on behind closed doors. Like
That's it.
this was
So
step one. This was step one or move one.
so it turns out Mark Carney bought into the speculative market, and he's involved in bailing himself out in this whole process. It's disgusting what's going on, and it's obvious. It's right on the surface, and it you can't hide it. Now they've been calling for a committee to go into the conflict of interest. The
Yeah.
Liberals just blocked it. They blocked it from even going forward. This is just disgusting.
Is that the clip? Is that the old clip or which one is that? No, that's
This
the
is the
new clip.
Western Standard talking about how they're. I think that's the one where they're saying they blocked. They've totally blocked any hearings on conflict of interest or any of that stuff. So
Yeah,
we're getting.
there was definitely an old clip circulating of Carney being
Oh,
asked on
here's
this.
that.
Which one is that?
Think you can build a business. You run a large bank. you have to be rescued because you'll have such bigger impacts on the rest of the system. That doesn't make sense. And so there's a variety of things that are being put in place, being designed so that banking can be like any other business. If you succeed, you get rewarded. But if you fail, your institution fails, and the rest of the economy continues to go on.
So you're saying no bailouts?
I'm saying no bailouts. That's the objective. Ending too big to fail.
And yeah, too big to fail is such a bizarre concept. And
If you run a family.
Too big to fail is a bizarre concept. Yeah, I mean,
and so he's saying I wouldn't even bail out the banks, is what he was saying in that clip. And now he's like bailing out something that's minuscule compared to the banks. I mean, it's $1 billion bailout compared to the banks. It's and
so,
he should have
in
done
that
it.
clip. In that clip, as it goes on, George there, who's interviewing Mark Carney, goes on to talk about this documentary about the .com, or not the .com, the housing bubble in the U.S., the prime subprime mortgage thing. So here's where there's a clear difference in this whole analogy, right? To say, you know, that this is analogous to the '08 crash. It's not. So when they were bailed out in '08, they were bailed out because they were promised from the get-go that they would be bailed out. The only reason why there was such bad lending practices in the lead up to the '08 crash, in, you know, from 2001 to 2007, they kept pushing further and further to get people into houses that shouldn't have been buying houses. And how did they do that? The government came in, they made these new financial entities, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. These were lending backups, right? They were basically, what they told the banks and they told the lenders was, you're not allowed to discriminate against who you lend money to. So they just said, well, we're not gonna lend the money then.
Yeah.
So the government made these entities to say, well, if those loans fail, we'll pay them. We'll back those with securities, U.S. bond, the U.S. government security, that they'll back it up if those loans were to fail. So in the guise of making it fair to everybody and egalitarian and whatever, they essentially forced lenders to lend to people who shouldn't have been borrowing money, and they promised to pay it back. So when it all went bust and it created a crazy frenzy where anybody could get a loan and buy a house, then when that crashed, the government had to come in and bail out the banks because they said that they would from day one. Now, this isn't what's happening in Canada.
No, it's not what's happening.
Promise.
But I mean, Carney is still on the record as saying we should never bail out institutions, and here he is bailing out.
But this is why it's worse, Marty. It's because the government never said that they would back up these speculators and bail them out.
But we know why, right?
It.
You alluded to it. So Carney is in on this, right? So some of the bailout is going to Carney. I mean, Carney was betting, like, behind the scenes, Carney's got money in real estate. We know that. So he's bailing himself out. But there was other things that came out this week. It all makes sense this week. You saw, like, you probably missed the pipeline announcements, right? So, so this week, all of a sudden, like, it's Oprah Winfrey. You get a pipeline and you get a pipeline. So we got 2 pipelines in Alberta this week. I was like, fuck. We're
okay. So you're going to have to fill me in on this one, because I'll give you my perspective from the outside on what this looks like. You got Doug Ford now is popular with a bunch of people because he's pro pipeline. You have Danielle Smith saying, we made an agreement. We got this thing. But weren't they trying to get oil to Tidewater the whole time? Now they're getting it to Sarnia. What the hell difference does that make?
Yeah. So this week, okay. So yes. So we got 2 pipelines. We got one West Coast. Let's do one at a time. So we got a West Coast pipeline. So that's the first one. So Carney went to Vancouver, then he came here and he did a press release, and he's like, we're gonna look into a major pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast of British Columbia. Okay. Mm-hmm. No corporation stepped up for that. One small company, Pembina, stepped up to it, said maybe we'll do 10%, but they're leaving themselves a giant. So basically the government is saying we'll do a pipeline. Okay. So part of the horse trading, as soon as the government said that, people went to David Eby. He's like, how do you feel about that, David? And David said, well, if Carney wants it, then I won't fight it. And this was like a day after the condo bailout. Okay. So So David got kind of quieted down in the condo bailout. Carney does his pipeline announcement. Stephen Guilbeault's pissed off. Carney with this announcement is literally pissing off his base, but he's doing it as a calculated risk because he's telling his base, I got to quell these separatists in Alberta. I got to give the separatists something. So he's promising a pipeline. We're not getting a pipeline. Okay, we're not getting a pipeline. This is just bullshit.
A government pipeline where the government puts it up and it'll take 10 times longer and cost 50 times more.
No, but then so then's the next part. But there is one company in this that says, well, we'll take a 10% chunk of the pipeline. So Carney convinced one company to stand on the podium with him and say, we'll build a pipeline. That company's Pembina. And Pembina, and in return for standing on the podium, Pembina got permission, supposedly, to build a power plant. We haven't built a power plant in Alberta in ages. We don't even need a power plant, but we're like, why are we getting a power plant, right? So we don't know why. I'm even questioning it. I'm calling my buddies at Pembina. It's like, why are you morons getting into the power business? You don't even have gas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, today another announcement comes out. You know what we're getting today in Alberta? A $13 billion AI data center from Meta. I'm like, okay. Ooh. Yeah. So now you start going tick, 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 tick. And then you go, okay, Meta, what did Carney promise you? Like, so we don't know that piece yet. That's going to come out in the coming days. But I mean, we got C9, we got surveillance coming out of our yin yang. Even here in Alberta this week, they did this crazy surveillance thing that I'll come back to. Like it's, we're even going down the social credit digital ID in Alberta. If they can convince Albertans to go with digital ID, the rest of the country just falls in line. It's a joke, right? So, which brings us to the second pipeline. I don't know where Doug Ford came from. Doug Ford's like sitting there going, hey, everybody's going to Stampede. Carney's at Stampede. Shania Twain's at Stampede. David Evy's at Stampede. The whole world's at Stampede. So poor Dougie's like, I want to go to Stampede. So Dougie comes to Stampede and he brings a map. He's like, we're going to build a pipeline to Sarnia, right? And the map is so convoluted. Like, and you look at the maps and people started asking questions like, there's no proponent. There's nothing. There's zero work. It is literally Doug Ford saying, oh yeah, we'll build a pipeline. Because then you look at the other players. Where's your pipeline going to go through, Doug? Well, it's going to go through Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Did you talk to Wob Canoe? Wob Canoe saw the thing on the news at the same time as we did it. Wob Canoe's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then ridiculous. Yeah, that's the map. Like literally, he showed us this map. Like he just proudly announced, a proposed route. That's all it is. He literally took a marker and put a route on the line. Like,
why does it go so far north in Ontario? That's just
because
ridiculous.
Then we don't want to go through because they don't want to go through the US, right? That's the only way to get like.
And no, by the way, it doesn't even follow. Like you could follow the Trans-Canada Highway. It hugs the Superior and Huron. But
yeah, you could hug the highway. You could do a little bit of water crossing or bridge. You could do.
It's hundreds of miles away.
It's hundreds of miles in the middle of nowhere where there's no power. Like this will never work. And besides, it's unneeded because Line 5 is feeding Sarnia as it is. Enbridge is already feeding Sarnia. So no, that's the kind of week we had. So I'm still waiting.
But is that not embarrassing for Danielle Smith to be standing on stage where this dingbat is announcing this thing that'll never happen? Because this is again getting back to it. The whole point was to get oil to Tidewater. You have a pipeline that goes to British Columbia, but there's a tanker ban, so you can't get it out of the water. You can't get it anywhere. Meanwhile, like the American ships are sailing like right by, waving at everybody, going, "Yeah, we're doing energy transports from Alaska, no problem." And then the pipeline goes to nowhere, so that's no good. And then you have one that goes to Sarnia, where they can refine oil.
I've never heard anybody ask for a pipeline to Sarnia in my 35 years. Nobody's ever asked for one. It's so confusing
to me, and it's like, well, what are you going to sell oil and gas to Quebec? Oh no, they buy it from the Saudis because of
Dougie wanted to be on Team Alberta. Like Dougie's like, hey, or not Team Alberta, on Team Canada. It's like, hey, I'm on Team Canada. Like, what about me, right? And so Quebec is pissed off. So now this week, Quebecers are like, oh, here we go again, subsidizing oil in Alberta. Wob Canoe's pissed off because Wob's idea of a project was to maybe open up a port at Churchill and sell oil through Churchill, but that would require icebreakers. But instead of icebreakers, we bought 10 submarines from Germany, killing the I know, I'm like you, man. I was gone for 10 days hiking and I came back out. And then the first day back, I'm like, oh, I got to go back. I'm turning around, man. I gotta get out of here. Like,
rather face grizzlies than what's going on in
any
Canada.
day. I mean,
man.
Yeah. No, that's the insanity. And now Carney is off and running. He's gone to Turkey this week doing a trade deal there. He's just spending money. He went to Ukraine again, gave him another $900 million today, just like that.
Okay, so this is what I heard recently is that Ukraine is now, their entire war is going to be bankrolled by Britain and Canada, or
Pretty
the
much.
European Union. Again, they guaranteed that the rest of it will be bankrolled, and that's just that.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well take over a chunk of Ukraine when this is all said and done, because we paid for it. Like, you know, it's yeah, not actually just back to Danielle. I mean, I'm trying to, it's one of those things. Sometimes I'm critical trying to support her. Right now I'm just staying quiet because she's losing support here hard and fast. It is Stampede. Everybody's coming to Stampede, and her photo ops have been with Carney and Doug Ford, and
that's not good. That's not a good look
everybody
at all.
But even Pierre Poilievre is like, I'm not getting in this. Like, he's even saying, I'll just go work out at the gym and do my kettlebell routine, and you guys you guys sort it out.
I saw something with Pierre, and he was at Stampede, and he was talking about how disappointed he was that Carney isn't as elbows up as he said he was going to be. And I think that's the worst stance that Pierre can be having, is like saying, I would ruin relations with the United States more than Mark Carney will. Like, the USMCA.
Oh yeah, we never even talked about that, right? That's dead. That's dead. Like, that's gone. That's finished.
It's dead. It hasn't been. So
it's not killed. It's still. It'll still. It's valid until another 10 years, until 2036. But yeah,
but it has to go into annual review every year. And this is I don't know, maybe my prediction or hypothesis on the situation. Mexico is pissed at Canada in this whole thing, because Mexico doesn't want to go through an annual review of their trade every year for the next decade. They don't want to do that. They've been working very hard and diligently to make a good trade deal with the United States. And yeah, I said this here because here's the deal. Mexico is one of the three nations that can end the USMCA. And this actually might be if this happens.
Well, Mexico should be smart and end the deal, like do the 6-month notice, and then go back and sign a deal with just the US, and then do the
this is really bad for the Liberals if this goes down this way. So if Mexico ends the trade deal because Canada can't negotiate, and Canada is at fault for this entirely. The US has come to the plate. Come to the table. The Mexicans have come to the table. Canada is just intentionally ruining and sabotaging this. The officials in Canada. So Mexico, this would be very painful for the Liberals. If Mexico ends or terminates the USMCA, there is no more USMCA after 6 months. It's not that it just continues for Canada and US and that they're obligated. So, but get this. If Mexico terminates it, then the Liberals can't say orange man bad. It would be beige woman bad. You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree with you. But there's just one weird event, though. Every time Carney fucks up, the Liberals have been fucking up for 11 years now. This is just another one, and nothing sticks to them. You know what I mean? like, by all logic, we should by all logic, Carney campaigned on one thing and one thing only. I'll get you a better deal. He failed. But now back home, it is so discouraging to see everybody do, not everybody, but it is so discouraging to see the Liberals doing mental gymnastics to justify the failure. They're at the point of cheering. Oh, we didn't want the deal anyways. Like, that's kind of where they're going. I'm like, you don't want the deal? Like, that's Doug Ford coming here this week. I don't want the. It's like, Doug, your auto industry is about to get decimated. Carney just bought subs from Germany, and the Germans said, "Oh no, we'll build them with our own steel. Thank you very much." We had like Stelco had a deal that they were working on, and then the deal just went kaput. And Doug Ford sitting there going like, it's no big deal. Like, no, I agree. I don't understand how Carney is surviving all these things. At this point, for many of us, it's obvious that Carney is just going to ignore the U.S. and hope that Trump runs out his time, and then the next guy elected is a Democrat who's friendly. Like, that's Carney's new strategy. Just
well, the thing is, you got to understand if the Save America Act passes, you're not going to see a Democrat run government in the United States in a long time. It's not going to happen. That's just you cannot look forward to that. There's a groundswell of people that are tired of the status quo of what the Democrats have been doing in America, and they see the benefit of what Trump has done since he got in office.
Yeah, the benefit.
They see what happened in his first presidency, and then Biden came in and it all went to shit, and then Trump gets back in and it's all on track again. America's winning. America's doing great, and people see that. When it comes to Canada, down south here, I talk to people and they say, "Oh, I didn't even know that was going on." Really, Canadians are mad at us?
Yeah. No,
They're angry. What?
No, it's confusing. I mean, we have. I mean, there's a little bit of change, but even you and I have talked about this, right? I thought, okay, when people can only do one trip to Mexico instead of two, maybe they'll wake up and be pissed off. No, apparently that's not it. When your kids can't afford a house, maybe the parents will get pissed off. Nope, that's not it. Maybe when gas is $2.50 a liter, they'll be pissed off. Nope, that's not it. I don't know what it takes people to not vote for the Liberals in this country. I have no idea. No idea. But
it's never going to work. It's never going to work.
No,
and I don't see the Conservatives as being this other winning brand that will get us out of this or get Canadians out of this, because they're not even coming to the table with better ideas. They have, they say, "Oh, well, we'll get pipelines going. We'll do all this other stuff." Really, will you? Like, you're still gonna have to fight the provinces.
Like I was saying, everybody's here for Stampede, and lots of people made the observation that Danielle was doing photo ops with everybody, with Carney more than she was with Pierre. She went to the Pierre breakfast yesterday, and she did their photo op with Pierre, but you could tell that she's just there, going through the motion. She doesn't want to be associated with Pierre. Pierre, in a sense, I'm giving him some benefit of the doubt that he's like stepping back and letting, Carney sort of tarnish his own image. Yeah, you could have an opportunity, Pierre, to, step on the jugular and maybe do something, but he's out of ideas. Pierre is completely out of ideas. And it's going to be an interesting.
Well, I'm just so sad for conservatism in Canada, because I see the path I see it going down is Pierre hanging on to this, sticking it through, getting into another election whenever that does happen, and then losing again.
Yep.
And that's what's sad. There's a lot of hope in the younger guy, Jamil Javani. He seems to be talking a lot more common sense and actually moving through with actions, to actually get stuff done. He took the opportunity to take the trip down to the United States and talk to some officials about what's going on there.
He's well connected. He's he's doing a better job than Leslyn Lewis, than Dr. Lewis. I mean, Dr. Lewis is still in the wings doing her bit, but beyond that, there's not a lot of. I mean, if there are candidates, they're just not putting their hand up at this point. It's the Liberal juggernaut is a powerful machine. I mean, I'm genuinely. I'm impressed on how they played the game. I mean, I hate it, but Carney paid people, got his floor crossers, kept passing bad legislation that's going to hurt people, and they still vote for it. Like, it's Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. You need to bring a psychologist on the show one of these days, and Jordan Peterson probably can explain it, or that guy from the UK you brought. What was his name?
David Charalambos.
Yeah, somebody like that. I cannot explain the liberal mentality, especially from out east. I just can't. But
Yeah, I think it's rooted in a lot of history, like we talked about earlier in the show. This whole loyalists, it's emotional. At the end of the day, it's an emotional thing, and they really are good at reaching people's emotions and getting them to vote based on that. And what do you
I
do?
mean, even in my, like, we didn't, we'll talk a little bit about it. I did go to BC 2 weeks ago, right? I did
Mhm.
10 days in BC, and I drove all the way there. And it was interesting, like the contrast between Alberta and BC is there. Your province is your ex province is absolutely gorgeous geographically, but one of my observations was, man, everything is in disrepair. Like the highways, the buildings, the schools, the ferries, like everything's in repair, and people are seeing it, but they're not voicing their opinions. Like it's
They're
similar.
oblivious, Marty.
They're oblivious.
to what's
I mean,
going on.
I'm critical of BC. I mean, I should be I'm critical here. I was at a meeting today, and the mayor of Calgary was there, and I was biting my tongue because our water infrastructure sucks, and they're still talking about bicycle lanes in winter kind of thing. And I thought BC was in the same boat. Like, I'm like, folks, like, enough of the bullshit, right?
BC's so bad. Like, so the
Yeah.
town that I moved out of, has increased in population since I moved there originally. It doubled in size. It literally doubled in size. The property values for all the places quadrupled in
Yeah.
price. And so did the tax dollars that you would have to pay every year for just owning a home in that town. The amount of homes doubled. The revenue that they pull in is tremendously more than they've ever had ever. And the hospital has not one more bed than the day that I moved to that town. The infrastructure is all the same. The rec center is the same size. There's no second rec center. There's nothing. Like, where's all that money going? It's the only thing that I can think of is corruption and embezzlement. Like, that's
no,
and
and
for them
that's
to
that.
say, "Oh, we don't have it in the budget to do this stuff." There's no excuse. Why would there not be money in the budget to do these things?
Well, and I was making a joke about that this week. Like, it is all embezzling, right? The pipelines. I mean, even the pipelines that were announced here. My own kid said, "Dad, you should go back to work." Right? I'm like, I know what you're thinking, right? Go work for Trans Mountain and charge them $2,000 a day as a consultant. I literally could. Like, I know, like, that's the kind of money they're just gonna waste it and launder it. And but I'm gonna keep fighting the system and try and bring people's awareness to it. When our government spends money, it doesn't seem to resonate with anybody. Like, it's people can't make the link between their misery and the government. Like people are applauding this submarine deal. Like, we just ordered 10 submarines, which, by the way, I think is, again, it's kind of right up there with carbon tax, right? It's convenient because we'll never see the submarines. Like, they bought submarines, and we'll never see the submarines because they'll forever say, "Oh, they're there. They're just underwater." I'm like, yeah, I want to see them. I want to see the damn thing, right? Like, Christ. Yeah.
That's horrible. But
The
yeah,
snowbirds.
contrast that-
I mean, this
contrast
is
that to
how
where
we
I
are.
live now, right? So
Yeah.
contrast all of this in Texas. No state tax. There's no state tax. You pay federal income tax, and then there's sales tax. It's 6.25%, and there'll be a sales tax for your municipality. It brings it up to, I think it's like 8.25% where I live total in sales tax. And then there's some fuel surcharge taxes, which is barely anything. You would barely know that there's any fuel taxes, because when you're paying less than $3 a gallon at the pump, that's pretty damn good. And yet the infrastructure is tremendous. The government runs a surplus every year. They don't have debt, and the place looks great. So it's a different mentality to run things. And the citizens here are a lot more upset if they learn of any embezzlement or any of that stuff. They pay attention.
We're running out of time for the main portion of the show, but this is a nice little segue for one weird thing that happened in Alberta this week. Speaking of, So Alberta this week or last week, a couple of weeks ago, because of the war in the Gulf of Hormuz and whatnot, we have a little bit of surplus, right? And I wish they'd put the surplus towards either the deficit or put the surplus as reduce a tax like the fuel tax or whatever. Danielle Smith got a lot of shit because you know what she's doing with the surplus? She's just giving $100 to everyone. Then at first it sounded good. She's giving $100 to everyone. I went on the system to see how you get the $100. Instead of just getting the $100, you have to apply for the $100. To apply for the $100, you got to get a My Alberta account, which is the Alberta's equivalent of like the My whatever CRA account.
Yeah.
You got to do that. To get that account, you got to validate your driver's license. Your driver's license and you have to have filed the tax return. So you got to provide your social insurance number, and your driver's license has to match the address that you use on your tax return. So if it doesn't, then they want you to go in and update your driver's license with your new blah, blah, blah. And then jump through a whole bunch of hoops. Do all those things will give you $100. I said, screw it. I'm not doing it. Even my daughter came by yesterday and she's like, I'm not doing it. She went there and I'm like, I don't blame you, Sarah. Don't do it. Like, it's not like I'm not. She's like, why would I go and change my address on my driver's license 2 months or 2 years before it's due and pay $80 to get $100? I'm like, yeah, you're getting it now. Like, so anyways, so the $100 in Alberta was not $100 refund. It wasn't a dividend check for doing well on our resources. What was it, Clyde? It was $100 to get us one step closer to digital ID, and
it was a compliance tool. It was trying to get you to comply with what they're trying to do online. Yeah, that's crappy.
And that's what I said. If they can do it in Alberta as a testing ground, which is a bold one, then they can do it anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see in the coming months how many of the 3.4 million eligible Albertans apply for the $100. Like, yes, it's 34 million bucks to get us to comply. We did the same thing with anyways. Yeah. Cool. Wow. Show went by fast the first hour anyways.
No kidding. All right. So everybody who's tuning in, this is the second portion of the show. We're going to get to your questions, your comments, things like that. Yes, it's a bit different because Yuji's running the show, so he's going to be helping us out. Thank you for that, Yuji, because without you, I don't know how we would run this. This is great, so appreciate that. And Yuji, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I just want to shout this one out right away. Sasquatch Chronicles for $99.99. Happy birthday, Clyde. Welcome home.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, my man. Welcome home.
Yeah,
Indeed.
That's awesome. That's real money, right? Remember, sometimes it's always real money, but when we get the $99 from one of our fans who's sending the pesos, like that's $9, right? That's not pesos. That's
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Had a great birthday. It was a lot of fun. We went out and we had Tex-Mex because I love Tex-Mex. Really good food.
Yeah, and then we also have Cole for $5. Welcome to America, Clyde. Good to see you, Marty, once again. How's your family feeling about the move so far?
Well, the family loves it. Really appreciate that, Cole. We anticipated the heat, and we're really feeling it now. We're really growing accustomed to what it's like to have the Texas heat. I don't mind it that bad. I don't mind it that much. The wife was not the most pleased with the heat. The kids are on and off about it, and but overall it's so great. Everybody's really excited to be here. We're all proud to be Americans now.
Excellent. I got my own. All I did on Canada Day was stay home, drink beer, and watch our country burn.
Yeah, it's sad that there was so much of that. I didn't even have a beer. I like it. I mean, I was prepared to be. I thought I was going to be on the road driving back on Canada Day. I ended up coming home the day before, so I was just sitting here. I did the same thing. I cut my lawn and looked over, and that was it. Yeah. Stampede's still going good, though. Stampede's good. I mean, Stampede's an Alberta tradition. Stampede's getting some good traction. I did one event today. It's kind of cool to see my older sons getting it all into Stampede. I mean, my days of really stampeding are behind me. Like, I mean, Stampede Grounds is like $15 for a beer. Like, that's a lot of money.
Too much. But I luckily I got the chance to go to Stampede while I was still in Canada. It was a lot of fun. Big carnival. Lots of stuff happening. It's really really fun.
It's a worth doing, right? I mean, do it
Mm-hmm.
once in your lifetime. Like it's especially if you've never seen a rodeo, the rodeo is impressive. I mean, the grounds are just fairgrounds. I mean, there's fairs all over the world, but the rodeo itself is quite the event.
Yeah, who's your friend Tariq, who came all the way from the Middle East to become a rodeo guy?
He's in your
Like,
neck
what
of
an
the woods,
incredible
man.
story.
He's on
He's down here right now.
He's almost given up on Canada already. I mean, this was his second home. He fought hard for Canada, and then he came at the wrong time. I mean, he came to Canada like 15 years ago, loved it, and then within a heartbeat in 3 years, he saw Trudeau get elected, and then it went all downhill. And so he's in your neck of the woods, rodeoing and setting up some sort of agricultural business down there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he moves down there permanently pretty quickly.
We'll have to meet up with him.
Which is the brain drain.
What a cool story.
You're
What a
part
cool
of the brain
story,
drain. It is the brain drain,
yeah.
right? We nobody wants to acknowledge it, but we are losing our talent, and it's not a 1-for-1 swap. I mean, we're bringing in people that I'd rather you stayed and that the others didn't come. That, to be honest, but yeah.
Well, what's that story? I sent you the link to that earlier, Eugene. It's what were the numbers? I think it's like 20% of businesses in Canada are considering leaving. What's the numbers there? I can't read that on the screen.
More than 40% of Canadian manufacturers have or are considering moving production to the U.S. New KPMG survey finds. Yeah, so 77% expect to make it within 2 years.
That's crazy. I said 20%. 40% of manufacturing in Canada is looking to take off. Like, get out of here, get out of the country permanently. Come on down to America. And America is opening the doors wide open. Like, well, the whole trick that Canada has really pushed on people is this idea that it's difficult to move to America. It isn't. Like, if you have skills and you intend on using them in America to, have business and become successful, everybody wants you. And everybody's willing to help you out, to do whatever they can to make sure they pave the way so you can do what it is that you do. It benefits everybody here if you're successful. Nobody wants you to come and be unsuccessful. No one wants to trip you up. So they want to allow you to do this. That's just the prerequisite. You have to want to do something, and then you can come in.
Yeah, and I'm just going to bring it back to this submarine deal. Like, I always find, like, we're losing industries, we're losing manufacturing, and so the government. This is okay. I don't fully agree with it, but if the government's going to spend some of our tax dollars, it should be on something that at least has a hope of reviving an industry. I'm okay with that, right? I mean, temporary. Like, I don't want to let every industry completely fail. I don't want to bail out I do not need to bail out the chicken industry and the milk industry. That's over the top. That's crazy. Yeah. But we had a pretty good maritime industry that was having a hard time competing, building boats. So let's help them out. Don't completely subsidize them, but help them out. Give them a contract here and there. We used to do that. But no, now we go and give $100 billion freaking dollars to Germany for them to buy submarines, which we don't need.
Well, not only that,
how far would that have gone to build our own industry? We should have built our own maritime industry. We should be building boats in this country.
Absolutely. And, steel, Algoma Steel, what did they get? They got a big subsidy to make steel greener.
Yeah.
Just recently. Like,
to decarbonize steel. Stop it.
What happens when you decarbonize steel, Marty? You're left with freaking iron. Like, what are you getting in the iron business?
It rusts and it falls apart. Like, yeah, exactly.
Carbon steel. That was the big innovation when they came up with steel, was that we weren't using freaking iron anymore. We were using a better alloy. And now they're talking about decarbonizing. Like, what the hell are you thinking? It's ridiculous.
They want to decarbonize oil, so decarbon. Yeah, yeah. No, that's where I'm due for a trip to Europe because I think I want to go see even in Europe, I always joke that look there to see what's coming our way, but they've already, in some senses, they are already moving past some of this insanity. Like Europe's moved past the green agenda and the net zero. They're already moving past. Like we're one of the last places to still hang on to that bullshit ideology.
Are you
But that came
surprised,
out
though? Canada's the only country that
because it
won't
came out in a
negotiate with
survey
the
this
US?
morning.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it came out in a survey this morning. 53% of Canadians strongly believe in man-made climate change. Like that's not a small percentage. I mean, that's half the people in Quebec. The Quebecers are pissed right now. I did a couple of social media interviews with Quebec, and Quebecers are pissed that Carney is promising us a pipeline, or even negotiating, or even talking about it. They feel betrayed because they're 100% on board with green. Yeah, that was my tweet from today. Actually, how many comments? It got a lot of comments. It got a lot of traction.
Why would the Liberals care? The Quebecers are voting separatist party.
They don't, and then why would Quebecers care that Alberta and BC are building a pipeline? Like we've already given up on you guys. We're not, but nope. There's one very specific reason why Quebecers still care. They honestly believe that they're subsidizing most of the country. You still run across a lot of Quebecers that think that they're paying more taxes and they're subsidizing us. You mentioned equalization payments. They're like, oh, no, that's nothing. We pay more in taxes and other things. They think that equalization is just a small payback for how much they're helping us. But
that's crazy.
It totally is. Yeah.
Oh boy. Any other comments? There we go.
Got into the super chat. I think it says, "God damn it, Clyde! Happy birthday, sir! We all appreciate you, my friend."
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hang on one second. So what's today? Today's the 8th. What's
8th?
next? What's next Wednesday? What day is next Wednesday?
It'll be the 15th.
15th, yeah.
So we're doing the show on the 15th. Okay. My birthday's on the 14th next week. Maybe we could do a show on the 14th.
Oh, right. Well, we'll get the day after belated birthday. You go have a good dinner or whatever. Go do something fun on your birthday.
That means you better bring in Mark Nixon because he has the same birthday as you.
Mark Nixon and my wife and Karen. I'll have to ask Karen, or Nixon must be younger than me. He's for sure younger than me. Mark is for sure younger than me. Yeah.
And that'll be right after my wedding anniversary. We were 20 years married.
When was that?
On the 13th
of
this month.
Oh, mine was yesterday.
Oh, well, happy anniversary. That's awesome. Wow, everyone's doing stuff in July. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's how it used to be. Yeah. Anyways. Hey, what do you got there, Yuji? Who's that little fine, handsome person?
Oh, it's Toby. Do you want to look at the camera, Toby? No.
Thing looks huge, man. How big is that?
No, it's just a regular sized cat.
He's just close to the camera, I think.
Did you see the news? Did you see my weird incident we had this week? I don't know if you wouldn't have seen it, but
no.
You both know where I generally live, right? I live in the country, and so me, Karen, and the dogs went for a walk 2 days ago, and Tika, the female, the big dog, found something, and I was like, "Oh, what do you got there?" And I took it away from her, and it was a Ziploc bag full of meat. Okay, like that makes no sense. Whatever. Continued the walk. By the end of the walk, we found 5 Ziploc bags, all about 100 meters spread apart, with meat in it. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit, right? Somebody's either trying to poison coyotes or whatever, and this is the bad way to do it. So I just collected the bags and brought them home. But at the end of the walk, Tika goes off, and I'm like, okay, now what did you find? And I walk over there, and those are the bags. So we found 5 Ziploc bags of meat, and I found a carcass. So I have a neighbor who's a vet, and she went and got the carcass yesterday morning. I didn't look at the carcass very closely at first because I just didn't want to go to. I identified it as a poodle. Wasn't a carcass, it was a hide, and it was a poodle. So the vet's like, yeah, it's just a hide. Somebody skinned a poodle. Skinned a poodle. And I'm like, oh, this is absolutely bizarre, right? And so then, so we put it on a local social media Facebook page, and then a whole bunch of other people came up with similar stories. So we got a psycho going around the neighborhood who's trying to either poison dogs, and when he succeeds, he's practicing his taxidermy, or I don't know what the hell he's doing. And of course,
leaving the hides behind.
Yeah, I don't.
Where was the rest of the carcass?
God, if I don't, maybe that's what's in the bags. I have no idea. The rest of the carcass would get eaten, right? Like if you leave a very clean hide in the bush, the animals won't go through it. Like they're not interested, but they will. I do that hunting all the time. I'll have the gut pile, and then I'll leave the hide of the moose. And the hide is usually left alone. The gut pile disappears. The coyotes and the wolves will take the gut pile. So wild animals do not go after hides. So whoever's dumping these hides of pets, I mean, I don't know. Is somebody practicing his taxidermy? I have no idea. I still don't know. I have no idea. It's a mystery right now. We found another bag today on our walk today. And of course, the RCMP in their infinite wisdom are like, well, you ever considered putting whatever cameras out there? I'm like, it's not my land. It's kind of your problem. Like, shouldn't you investigate? But they see nothing wrong at this point. No crime has been committed, right? I'm like, maybe you can analyze this. So it's up to me to get the food or the meat analyzed.
How is it not a crime to skin a dog and leave it outside? Like what?
It's not, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, maybe people want to comment what their theories are. I don't have a theory. My first theory was that somebody was just trying to kill coyotes or something like that. But if they are, that's a really weird way to go about it. And the more prevalent theory is that no, somebody's trying to kill animals in general. I mean, leaving. I'm glad that we normally don't let the dogs roam free. I hope nobody's letting. I warned all the neighbors, anyways. Do not let your dogs roam free because
it's a psycho.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's insane.
But on the other hand, I was really impressed at how good Tika is at finding stuff. Like, it's a new game now. Hey, let's go find dead bodies, Tika. We live in a messed up world, man. Like,
no
messed
kidding.
Up world. Yeah.
That's just really bizarre.
Yeah, I got Andrew saying amazing work, Clyde and Marty.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Got another one from Cole. Happy birthday or belated birthday. Welcome home.
Yeah, thanks. Really appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of that from Americans. Welcome home. You know?
That's awesome.
It is home. It's home for us.
You got Myron saying Teflon Carney, nothing sticks, including intelligence.
But that, yeah, so I'm not the only one observing that, right? Like, that is frustrating. Like, nothing sticks to the guy. I mean, Trudeau was in the same boat. Like, remember, like nothing stuck on Trudeau. I mean, you know, I'll never forget the time when he had that veteran standing in front, and the veterans, you know, said, you know, I never thought I'd have to fight my own government. And Trudeau said those famous words, well, you're asking more than we can afford. The day he said that, I just thought, oh, you're done. Like almost any other politician in history, you just told a veteran that the veteran's asking for more than we can afford. A veteran missing a leg because he lost it in combat on our behalf is asking for too much. And that just went, the whole public went, yeah, he's asking for too much. Trudeau's right. I'm like, wow. And Carney's had similar moments lately and nothing's sticking to that guy. Nothing. I mean, I don't know. Like right now, I'm frustrated by the fact that he went to Ukraine this week and gave another $900 million. Like $900 million, folks. That's not chump change.
No.
Like that's, and I get it. What's going on in Ukraine is bad, but how about we just really work on a peace deal and bringing the parties together instead of just going there every week with a bag of money and giving them more money?
Well, when do we say to Zelensky, you know, you're just asking for more than we can afford? When do we say to, you know, foreign dictators, you know, all over the world that we give money for foreign aid? When do they get the, sorry, you're just asking for too much, more than we can afford? That's just crazy. The veterans should be number one on the priority list of people that should be compensated for the sacrifices that they've made.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, hopefully, buying a couple of submarines will bring back some interest in our navy, and we'll get a couple of guys back. But I'm not overly confident about that. Hey, there was another story we were going to talk. We talked briefly about at the beginning, and I just want to touch on it again. We are the counting of the petition of the signatures is happening in Alberta, right? So. Remember, we had collected 300,000 signatures, and then a group of 6 First Nations took the government to court, and the first judge said no, the petition is illegal. I mean, I have no idea how they could say the petition's illegal, right? Like, basically, they said, Marty, you collecting signatures on the side of the road is illegal. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I was actually depressed by that first hearing, right? I mean, yeah. I spent a solid 200 hours on the side of the road collecting 700 signatures. And then to have a judge saying that was all for nothing and the process is illegal and invalid, and I won't allow Elections Alberta to count the signatures. I didn't go into a depression, but I needed to pause and reconsider a little bit about, how I'm going to tackle the independence movement. But anyways, as soon as that judge made that ruling, Jeff Rath and Stay Free Alberta took the judge appeal the original sentence, or whatever you want to call, not sentence. What would it be called?
The ruling.
So Jeff Rath appealed the ruling, and so did the government, right? Because the judge is basically saying to Danielle, you're empowering citizens through this thing called the Citizens Initiative Act, and you can't do that. So even the government took them to court. So the appellate judge at the higher court is hearing the case right now, and as right away she immediately says, "There's a lot here. I'm not too happy about it, and I'm actually gonna I will rule on this, but in the meantime, I disagree that the signatures at least should be counted." So that's good. I was happy to hear that. We got that ruling on June 30th, a couple of days ago. So Elections Alberta will count the signatures. And I'm really happy that a friend of the channel, Eva Chipyak, has been nominated by Stay Free Alberta as the scrutineer on our behalf. So she's the one who's going there to supervise. And poor Eva, she's like, it's going to take 3 weeks. I'm like, you can. She has to sit there every day in a room, and people they just take a page and they call somebody randomly and ask whatever. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Yeah, that's like monotony, just looking at signatures all day long.
But then, and actually, just because it's a topic near and dear to me, and Elections Alberta for the last 2 or 3 weeks has just been running a huge publicity campaign themed around, hey, you should trust us. Like, UG, like, find one of their ads on YouTube, on Twitter or whatever. Like, just find the election, like, all over. They're all over the place, right? Like, we're the source of truth. We run a good process. You can believe in our democratic elections. You know what I mean? Like, what's your first thought when a body like that goes out of their way to try and promote the fact that they're ethical?
What's the old phrase? Dost thou protest too much?
Yeah, or where there's or where there's smoke, there's fire, or whatever.
Yeah,
like they're obviously feeling the heat and feeling that they need to what's the word? Rebuild their institution and the public's confidence in their institution. It's
well, how do people have confidence in these institutions anymore? We keep hearing about democracy. What was it? Trudeau said democracy's backsliding. It's them. It's them that's backsliding democracy.
Yeah. Don't blame me for not trusting you. If you were trustworthy, I would trust you. But that's basically what they keep saying. Like, well, we're doing the right thing, but you guys, trust the process, check the facts. And they're really pushing this week, and they had to shut off the comments because they're getting lambasted. Like, it's like, no, we don't trust you. And you're not going to regain our trust by simply telling us that we should trust you. That's not how it works.
No, but that's how it works for the Liberal government. I mean, you heard the news with Melanie Joly saying that they're going to try to take legal action against people on social media for having untrustworthy. What was it? What was the verbiage they used? It was misleading information.
Disinformation. I mean, her favorite terms. Actually, Yuji, find that clip too, right? It's the clip that's making the round. So it's happening in Canada now. The RCMP are knocking on doors. What we said was happening in Europe. Like, yeah, in Europe, you make a bad social comment on Facebook or whatever, expect somebody to knock on your door. It's starting to happen. People have posted videos of cops coming to their doors, knocking and saying, you know, why are you here? It's like, well, we want to question you about a negative comment you made about Mark Carney online. Like, piss off, man. Like, I mean, did he? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, you've made some online posts to the Prime Minister of Canada. You have anything to say about that?
Can you be more specific? What post? What I specifically said? Do you have a screenshot?
Yeah, you specifically said, and you
Specifically said.
made it online.
Because I mean, he's a Zionist scumbag, and he's not my prime minister. So,
Oh boy.
but really, you're going to come to my door, and you're worried that I'm going to do something? Do I seriously look like a threat to you?
So that's why we came to talk, right? So those threats are made.
You know what? You guys should be busy taking care of actual real crime than standing here harassing me over fucking shit I say online.
I understand. But
Okay,
you
yeah,
shouldn't be
no.
saying that.
Don't be wasting
So,
tax dollars doing this
Nicole-
bullshit.
Nicole, if such behavior continues, if there is,
What are you going to do? Put me in jail because I don't like our prime minister?
No, but if you made some threats that are concerning,
What kind of threats did I make? You still haven't shown me what I
you're
said.
talking over me, man. I'm trying to explain to you what the
Show me what I said.
Anyways, it's happening, right? I mean, the laws have been on the book, right? You do not threaten it. Like, you know, if you say I want to kill the prime minister, that's a threat. You don't. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Whoever is listening right now did not say that.
You gave an example of what is
Gave an
illegal.
example. That's always been on the book, but it does prove in that thread of that story, people were saying that I think it was Mario. How do you say Mario's last name?
Zalea?
Zalea piped in on that, and people were talking about how even using an anonymous account, you're not anonymous in Canada.
No.
I know that it's very easy to compel Twitter to reveal who is behind an account. And I mean, I had my little incident 3 years ago during the election, right? Remember, I posted a picture of my ballot, and within 3 weeks, I got a letter from Elections Canada saying that's illegal. I'm like, okay, how did you know it came from me? Because even though I posted it, I didn't post my name. You had to know who I was, and you had to need the evidence to go find the ballot. And they were able to find the ballot in the letter saying, we found your ballot and matches the ballot that you took a picture of. Because that was my first defense. It's like, I just took a picture of any old ballot. And they're like, no, that was your ballot. I'm like, oof, okay, this is scary. This is scary.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But
Yeah.
so Jolie was going even further and saying that people not making threats or things like that. There are people who are saying misleading information, which is I mean, that's
mocking her. She's mad that we're mocking her. Like, she's using the term misinformation. She's like, she doesn't like the pictures of her with the red knees or whatever. Like, we're mocking her. We are literally mocking her, and she's mad about that. She's the first one to actually say that they're doing it. We know there's a lot of them that you and I as content creators, we know. I felt the pressure. You mock them a little bit too hard, and then all of a sudden something happens. You get an audit. That's what Mario's been complaining about. Mario said he's never been audited by the CRA, and suddenly in the last little while, he's constantly being audited by the CRA. It's a form of it's lawfare, it's intimidation. Just tone it down, or we'll use other means to make your life a little bit miserable.
well.
But Jolie's the first one to honestly be truly honest about it. I want these people arrested. I'm like, I know that's how you feel. I know that's how you feel. You want us arrested, like, I mean, look at what happened. Did you see? You might have missed this storm this week, but Tamara Lich got an. God bless the American ambassador, right? So the U.S. ambassador to Canada has a beautiful residence in Ottawa, and he has a tradition. Once a year, he has a barbecue on Canada Day, and that's his job. That's what ambassadors do, man. They spend half their time just being nice and hosting people. He had a big party in Ottawa, and who was invited at the party? Tamara Lich. and people had a complete meltdown because the American ambassador invited a traitor, a criminal, blah blah blah. He can see beyond that, man. The American ambassador is a smart man. He can see beyond all that. But online, the vitriol aimed at Tamara was absolutely gross. Like, people want her dead. Like, people are
crazy.
You literally have people say she should be rotting in jail. By the way, her poor saga is not over, right?
For parking illegally or whatever.
Her sentence does. She will have served her initial sentence, and it comes to she's under house arrest, but she will have completely served her sentence in January 2027, like in 4 or 5 months from now, or 6 months from now. And the Crown is still talking about appealing the decision and prosecuting further. They want her in jail for 7 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's vindictive. And there's people just cheering, like she's, she tried to overturn the government. Like, how? By having bouncy castles in the street? And boy, if you're going to overturn the government, that's a really weird way to do it. Like,
yeah, it's like all these people showed up and forgot to bring any weapons or anything. They just showed up to park.
Oh, the people like
honk their
Coots had
horns.
guns in their, yeah, I know. It's crazy. How do we get onto that topic? What were we talking about? We were talking about.
Oh, we were talking about
Melanie Jolie, right? How they that is a scary. So Melanie Jolie is admitting something that we know a lot of them think, and that is a scary thought, right? That is Trudeau. Trudeau also said it out loud. I mean, that was part of my viral tweet, right? Trudeau said, "Do we tolerate these people?" That's the exact words he used. Like, the people he was referring to, the anti-vaxxers. He's like, they're usually misogynistic, anti-science, racist. Like, he labeled us everything. And then he went one step further and is like, do we tolerate these people? I'm like, the last time somebody said that, man, that was ugly. Like, as a little guy with a little mustache over there, didn't tolerate people, and he sent them away. And Jolie is letting
he said,
know.
Do we give them the space, right? Do we?
Yeah, he went that far.
Them?
Do we tolerate them? Should we give them a space? He said it in French, and when he said it in French, it's even more chilling. It's qu'on leur donne la place. Yeah. Do we tolerate them in the society? Do we give them breathing room, kind of thing? It's like, oof. And yeah, Jolie said out loud what she's thinking, and I'm sure she's not the only one thinking like that.
Well, and it's crazy because she's going after misinformation or misleading information. What's more misleading than the 3 words safe and effective?
Yeah.
Like, we had that shoved down.
We've gone down
throats,
this path, right? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
And who's been the biggest purveyor of misinformation? It's been the government.
Oh,
there we go. Trudeau here.
On va s'en sortir de cette pandémie par la vaccination. Puis on en connaît tous des gens qui sont en train d'hésiter un petit peu. On va continuer d'essayer de les convaincre. Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on dit, voyons, la plupart des gens, presque 80% des Québécois ont fait ce qu'il fallait faire, se sont fait vacciner, on veut revenir aux choses qu'on aime faire. C'est pas ces gens-là qui vont nous bloquer. Mais oui,
you know what?
On va s'en sortir.
Just disgusting. Disgusting.
You're almost giving me PTSD with that one. You're giving me flashbacks. I probably went white. Those subtitles, they're mine. Okay. So that's from 4 years ago. You couldn't easily subtitle anything. And I had been in a discussion with somebody about this speech, and they didn't believe me that Trudeau had said this. So then I remember that day going out, finding that clip from Tout le monde en parle, the show, listening to it, and then annotating it myself, putting the clip and then publishing it. And when you go, even though I'd heard it a bunch of times, when you go through it and you listen and you're translating, and I listened to that clip over and over for an afternoon while I was, not over and over, but let's say 20 times in the 15 minutes that it took me to translate. And that's when I got so mad that I did that viral clip. My clip is exactly that, right? It's like it was a consequence of seeing that video where I realized that guy hates me. That guy fucking hates me. That guy wants me dead. And I saw it and I heard it. And that's why I did the clip where I said the video where I said, you know, I'm Marty. I'm a hockey coach. I'm a long-term Canadian. I'm a father, a family man of 5, 6. But Trudeau thinks I'm a misogynist and wants me gone. That was my clip. And that clip resonated with everybody else. And I'm like, yeah, like when I see that, we need to play that more. I'm almost speechless. I'm almost upset right now because that's our leader. That's a leader of a country questioning whether we should tolerate a segment of the society, which by the way, we turned out to be in the right, and he's in the wrong. He's totally in the wrong, and we were totally in the right. Like, yeah.
Because they told us that everybody had to be vaccinated. For first, it started with for your own safety, and then somehow it turned into because you'll get vaccinated people sick, and like, well, how did that happen? It just became this real. It was a real push to relinquish bodily autonomy. It's disgusting. It's an ugly part of Canadian history that so many Canadians are they just brush it away like whatever. It's just something that happened. I'll never get over it. I'll absolutely never get over it.
Neither will I. And I've had lots of people say, "Oh, Marty, just move on." I'm like, no, there's no justice that happened after this. Like, I can't just move on. There's a missing chunk of justice. By the way, let's roll this into something else that happened this week, right? Yuji, find the clip of the EU announcing that they want to put the monitoring in all cars. Like, they want to monitor your eyes and your face while you're driving your cars in the EU. This is no joke. This is happening. We already know this is happening, right? But the EU wants to go one step further. They want to mandate manufacturers to put these cameras in cars so that they can monitor the driver. And I mean, you can find my clip, but go down. Now, there was a clip by. Anyways, this is real. This is real. So the driver distracted again. For your safety, we need to make the manufacturers put the system in the car so that if you're falling asleep, we'll stop the car safely. Yeah, that's how it starts, right? But they're going to monitor you while you're driving. Oh, guess what? Marty's driving. He has a DUI. He shouldn't be driving. Or Marty has a house arrest. Or Marty's going too fast. Or Marty's doing this. Or blah, 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 blah. Like, where does it end? And then simultaneously, you got a whole bunch of people cheering. Here in Alberta, we're getting a $13 billion AI data center. Folks, like, okay, you're cheering for your own demise. I'm just telling you, you're cheering for your own demise. Like, you're like, why does everybody think that they're going to be exempt from this? Like really driving and having, and it goes back. What do people say? Well, if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't care if your government's monitoring you.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? If the government has nothing to hide, then we should have game cams in every office in government. We should have their faces and their stuff monitored entirely all the time. Why is there no push for that? They got nothing to hide, right?
And they pass laws, right? I mean, you talk about Doug Ford. The Liberals passed law. Doug Ford changed the law last year. Access to freedom of information. But it's limited for whatever industry, but not for government, right? They changed the laws around freedom of information requests because saying we're going down we're going to have some interesting. I don't even want to try and predict because I've been generally wrong on trying to predict 5 years from now all the time. You know what I mean? Even I couldn't have. If you asked me in 2000, do you think there'll be COVID vaccines in the future? I would have said no. So I missed that one completely. And will the government trample your rights? No, I'm pretty sure the Constitution's bulletproof. Oh boy, I was wrong on that one. And so what kind of trampling of our rights are they going to do? I'm still hanging on to the fact that we're not going to go to full-blown communism where they start rounding up people. And then I go, boy, we came this close, man. We came this close.
It was a bunch of truckers that went to Ottawa that thwarted that.
Yeah.
They would have kept going. What was it? Arrive Can would have turned into a full-blown passports everywhere you go thing. They were doing passports to go to restaurants. you had to have a passport, a digital passport that you had to scan to get into a restaurant to eat food.
Yeah.
Like that's it just,
And
are you insane?
I'm just going to do a weird shout out here, but to a YouTube channel called Veritasium, right? You might have heard of Veritasium. UJ, have you heard of Veritasium? Like he's a British Columbian engineer, but now he's moved into the US. Again, brain drain, don't blame him, right? But he just did a really crazy video the other day that I watched while I was doing a workout, and again, it blew my mind. Digital ID is still not as safe as we think it could be. Like there's one. What's his latest one where he says we're doing it all wrong? Like just go videos and show his last one. Yeah, that one there. What's the title at the bottom? What's he calling that video?
It is the tragic way 9 people were executed based on false evidence.
Okay, so it's actually not that long of a video, but he explores 5 common digital IDs, right? Fingerprints, blood type, DNA, bite marks, and I can't remember the 5th one. And he says, like, we've taken it for granted that those things are unique to each of us, and now they're saying scientifically they're not. And it's scary. And not only are they not unique, but even when we take a chunk of DNA, they're not taking the whole DNA. It's similar to the PCR test, right? Like the PCR test, when you when you multiply to make the sample big enough so you can finally detect it, you're going to detect anything. And he's saying the same thing. Like if you don't look at all 10 fingerprints and you only look at one, it's not enough. And same with DNA and everything else. Anyways, it was a timely video. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think he's a good guy who's on board with the fact that he's not coming straight out and saying digital ID is bad, but he's putting out the right warnings, which is do not completely trust it. And actually, on the flip side, for DNA, he's saying DNA is pretty accurate, but the problem with DNA now is that you can detect DNA in extremely minuscule quantities, like microliters, or like really, really almost infinitely small amounts, and therefore our DNA now is being spread everywhere. Like you drove a car, you took a rental car. If somebody kills somebody in that rental car next week, your DNA is all over that car.
Right.
So it's like the sensitivity is going to the point where it's becoming equally as good as it is at finding you, it's also equally good at finding the wrong person. Anyways, digital ID, bad idea. Put it off as long as you can. AI, bad idea. Put it off as long as you can. Go rewatch Terminator. Go watch Skynet. Yeah.
AI is good for some things though. Like, and I understand why Elon Musk took the bull by the horns on this one. He didn't like the people that were investing in AI, didn't trust them. So he's like, well, I guess I'll do it before them or try to beat them to the punch. And it is a really good tool for a lot of things that it's time saving. It's like the invention of the calculator, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing big math problems by hand, you can just quickly resolve that. And it's doing the same thing. So yes, it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs, but it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs like mechanizing the agriculture industry did, right? 80% of the population used to work in the fields and now they don't. They were freed up. The people predicting what would happen in the future at the time said there are going to be a bunch of useless heaters and poverty is going to ensue. It's the opposite of what happened. We had crazy innovation and people got pushed into other parts of the economy, which was great. And I think you're going to see a similar thing happening with the advent of AI in this regard. There's going to be a lot of, maybe you're not going to need 20 paralegals in an office. You might just need one with an AI assistant and running things like that. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, there's pros and cons, but I right now there's already people talking about some of the things that they'd like to do with AI that shocks me, right? Like the people who are say in favor of like we don't need elections anymore because we'll be able to gauge everybody's opinion on something using artificial intelligence, and we'll be able to get a consensus without elections. I'm like, I'm nervous.
That was
about,
actually Google's CEO discussing that with Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum. Prescriptive governments instead of elected governments. Yeah,
My
no,
doorbell
I see what you mean.
Hang on 1 second. Did a doorbell just ring? It's the cops.
Coming for your dogs.
Is there a
Marty.
CMP outside, Karen? Just knock on the door, or don't open the door. Too late.
Being swatted.
Oh, it's somebody coming to ask about the dead dogs. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Karen,
Yeah,
is that
that's
a
crazy.
cop? Oh, okay. Because if a cop's pretending to be oh, God, dude. Yeah. Anyways, hey, maybe actually let's go through these quickly. I do want to go talk to the neighbor.
Yeah, that would
is-
be
this
wise.
one's pretty important. So
Yeah, we got Myron says what it takes for people to stop voting for Liberals is actually turning on more than one brain cell.
Yeah, well, you can't.
or more
you
pain.
can't reach for the stars, folks, but don't expect everything to go.
Yeah, or more pain, right? More pain will.
Yeah.
Boy, Canadians' tolerance for pain though is low. Like, hey, by the way, what's gas? Like, I always use gasoline as a pain point. What is gasoline in the U.S.? Is it coming back down now? Is it?
So I just filled up the other day, and it was by the Walmart. It cost $2.93 a gallon.
God. Okay. Yeah. In a currency that's worth more than ours. I don't even want to do the math. Don't even.
Well, it's
go
the
there.
cheapest in town. It's the cheapest I've seen because it goes
Yeah.
up to like almost $3.40 something in other places. But I mean, that's my new favorite gas station because $2.93. That's like what? Like
60 cents, 70 cents.
Yeah, it's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Especially with the exchange rate. Wow.
Mhm.
Good for you.
I got Javelin Blue saying, I agree, Marty. Probably should be side by side, but two different cultures. Talk about Canada, America, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. Two totally different cultures. Similar in a lot of regards, but they're
Oh yeah, very similar.
key factors that are
Similar.
very different.
One thing that I don't like about our culture is that we try to gain ours by purposely making ourselves better than the Americans. It would have been okay to just say we're different, but I'll often think that looking back, like we kept saying, oh, we have better Medicare, better healthcare, better this,
All
better
worse.
that. Like we should have just been proud of our own culture without trying to put down anybody else's. In hindsight,
Yeah.
I hate that about us, right? And I do love the American culture. I've always said this though. I love American patriotism in the US. You guys can be a little bit hard to tolerate with your patriotism outside the country when you come to an event like the Olympics or something like that. Like when they're competing against us, I go, piss off.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, it sucks to suck. Exactly.
Yeah, you got Scott Reese saying, Clyde, look up youth guns.
Yes, I've been looking into some of them. Yeah, I don't need anything precision wise or anything like that. We were at the Walmart the other day, and there was like a little 22. I didn't get to pull it out and look at it, but I think it was only like $120. So I might go pick up one of those. I just wanted to check the local gun store first before I bought one from a Walmart.
There's
I always
our
like to support
weekly
those guys.
Point Roberts joke.
Yeah, fancy guy. Vancouver guy again. So can we try Point Roberts, maybe BC go 51st, and Point Roberts to be our new state capital? Screw Ottawa.
Love it.
Yeah, I got another one from Javelin Blue. Marty, God is raising someone up, but people will be hostile towards him.
Is that I'm
Oh,
trying-
yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Like, I mean, if God is not raising as in educating, but God is promoting somebody and making somebody look good, and then yes, people will be jealous. I tweeted about that this week. It's a Canadian trait, right? That's one thing you will truly experience in the US, right? Like the come out on the
It's
street
different.
with your come out on the street and you got a brand new car and your neighbors are going to go, looks good, Clyde, like business must be good, you know, congrats. Whereas we come out with a new car and what do our neighbors say? Must be nice. Like, who'd you screw to get that car, right? Like we just don't encourage each other the same way, which is, yeah. Oh, somebody there. Okay.
So Myron says the subs will come from Subway and dissolve underwater. Order the meatball.
Do you know what that means, or what joke did I miss there?
Oh, like Subway, the sandwich
Oh, the
franchise.
submarines. Oh, I got it.
Okay. We got Japan Blue again. I'm sorry, Basil, but I think God has rejected Pierre because he's probably choice. God will raise a leader, or Cabana's done. Canada's done.
Canada's done.
I cannot read. Sorry.
No, it's difficult. But yeah, no, I don't have a lot of faith in Pierre. I just don't. I don't think he's the guy for the job. He was the guy for the job, and then he decided to bench himself in the last election, and is really not coming back for that.
No.
Yeah. You got Myron's this again. You could paint the steel green.
Yes. Well, no, that's the term, right? Green coating. They call it that. I mean, that's the term for a lot of the green stuff. It's not green. It's just, yeah, greenwashed. Green coating, greenwashed. Yeah.
Is that just like a thing to stop the?
That's the term. I mean, a lot of things that are, you know, you mock the green side by saying that's just greenwashing, like whitewashing. You're just greenwashing things. I mean, decarbonizing oil. That's what I would say. That's just a greenwashing term. There's no such thing. And painting, that's a perfect example. Painting. Actually, that's not even a joke, by the way. I
paint it green, and then people will be like, "Oh, look,
yeah,
it was made by nature."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of my favorite memes, right? Like the parking space for the Tesla and it's, or whatever, it says like green cars only, and some guy parks in there with a big green truck. Like, that's good. By the way, I was shocked at how many Tesla charging stations you guys have in BC. They're everywhere. Like, I'm in Powell River, man. Like, I'm in Powell River. When's the last time you went to Powell River? It's not that big, right? Like, it's like 10,000 people, whatever. And I went by a little mall there, and there was like 7 Tesla charging stations. I'm like, wow. They really went into beautiful country, though, by the way. Beautiful country.
It's gorgeous. It really is.
It's spectacular. Absolutely is.
I was talking with the wife about this on the way down here. Like, there's no possible way we could have done the trip we did in an electric car. Like, zero chance. Even if we spent the time at the chargers or whatever, there's parts of this country where there's no electric vehicle that could make the range.
Right.
And we would go through deserted areas, and I would anticipate, like, I better fill the gas tank. I don't know how long it'll be before I see another place to fuel up. And we're talking like vast amounts of space where there's just nothing.
And then I was going to ask this question. Like, I know how they make heat, because that's one of the problems of electric cars is generating heat in winter to keep the cabin warm, and it takes forever. How they must be hogs on the air conditioning, right? Like, the air conditioning is like I've never been in an electric car. Do they have air conditioning? I guess the same as the one I'm in my house. I mean, it's got to be a little Freon or whatever coolant cycle and compressor, but man, that's got to be a hog too on
well, it's no different. It's no different than any automotive air conditioner, except it's just driven by an electric motor.
Sure.
Instead of on the belt line.
Yeah, but on the belt line, it's almost parasitic. Whereas in as part of, like, heat on the car is parasitic, right? I mean, when you got a heater in your car, you're basically recovering waste heat. And then, anyways, yeah. No, you're right. So distance wise, you wouldn't be able to do it. You'd be
no way.
There's not enough stations.
Like,
yeah,
the vast spaces between Utah and Nevada, or not Nevada. Sorry, Utah and New Mexico. Like, we were going through areas where it's like there's nothing. There's no. It's just desert, crazy. Like, as far as the eyes can see. And I was a little nervous. I was looking at the gauges, listening for any little noises. It
Yeah.
would suck to break down out there. Like that would be a death sentence. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, far.
Okay, we got Jess saying happy pre-birthday, Marty.
Thank you, Jess.
Nice.
Yep.
Then Javon Blue for 20 says
She's
Basil-
talking to or he's talking to somebody else in the chat, right? There's a Basil in the chat, I think.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basil, the people of a nation get the government they deserve. God
Yeah.
won't interfere with their free will. God curses nations and disobey him. Abortion, sexualizing children, and more will bring justice on a nation.
Talking some like end times revolution.
There's some there's some cool. I mean, I'll religion
or is
aside,
that like old Testament stuff?
Old Testament, but I do the first part of his sentence, I repeat that all the time. You get the government that you deserve. And this week it was like I was watching Olivia Chow in Ontario dancing on stage for Pride and making a complete ass of herself. And that's what I kept saying. I have no sympathy for Torontonians right now. I really don't care. Like if your city burns tomorrow, I really don't care. That's who you voted for. Like, you get the city, and we're the same way. We get the government we deserve. I mean, it's yeah.
Well, so I probably sound all smitten because I just moved to Texas and I'm really happy here. But we passed through Washington State, and there were some neighborhoods where it was like I felt uneasy because like people's residences at their houses, they had signs that were political signs facing outwards. Upside down American flags and stuff about Trump and all this stuff. And I was like really uneasy in these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, okay. There's another side of America in like liberal territory. They're kind of sketchy, to be honest, and the reason why I feel it's sketchy is because we know the propensity of people on the left to resort to violence quite quickly and easily, whereas on the right you don't see a lot of that. You might see people saying like I'll pray for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I felt uneasy in some of those areas. Luckily we went east and went right into what a lot of lefties call flyover country. And there's a lot of hospitable people in that whole section of America. It was great.
All right, Javon Blue said third Worlders, Marty? Worlders, Marty?
Third
Worlders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she was referring to.
I mean, that's I can make a guess, but I mean, we are bringing in a lot of people that don't have the same values as us. That's a problem we are dealing with in Alberta here. Like, we're very nervous that if we don't make if this attempt at independence is unsuccessful, then we won't get another one, because we are being outnumbered by new people to the province that are third worlders. They come here and they're happy. I don't blame them. I mean, I can understand that. If you came from Ethiopia and suddenly you have access to a Walmart and you only share your house with 12 people instead of 50, and you can drive a 15-year-old car instead of a donkey. Yeah, you come here, man. You're in a great country, and they see me as a complainer, and they're like, "Why are you complaining about?" It's like, because I've moved past the stuff that you're stuck on right now. I don't want to live with 15 people in my house.
Yeah, because the standard of living is being lowered. We're not all raising up.
No.
And there's a bit of that here in Texas. Just north of Dallas, there's a whole town that's just like India, and it goes against the principle of the melting pot, right? It's the idea. Yes, you're welcome. Come here. People who want to live and breathe free, who want to leave behind some old world and backwards cultures and backwards ways, come here, be American, join us in this endeavor, and be a neighbor, right? But when you come and you form a little diaspora village of your old country with all the old backwards ways and the backwards culture and all of that stuff, it's less. You're gonna get a less of a welcome mat.
Well, we're seeing it here. Like as an example, we saw these weird festivals. Like we had people that are, building whatever little statues and then tossing him into the river to go floating down and doing a prayer as their little whatever statue goes down the river. It's like, sorry, man, but we don't do that here. Okay. Like we don't do that here. We don't send stuff floating down the river, never to be seen again, because
someone's going to see it.
Yeah. I get it. You like slaughtering cows in your backyard. Well, we do that, but we don't do it the way you do it. And you're not going to do it on the front street in the middle of the day with everybody around you. We don't do that. It's just not the way it is. And yeah. My favorite one is we don't put curtains down the middle of the pool. So the little guys and the little girls, they all play together. And if you don't like that they're playing together, then go to another pool. But I'm not putting a freaking curtain down the middle of the pool. That's it.
You know where they have curtains in the middle of the pool? They have them in Iran. Go to Iran.
Yeah, go to Iran. Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, don't bring your backwards stuff. I'm very adamant about this because I want Canadians who want to breathe free to be able to move to America, as I've done, but I don't want them bringing backwards socialist BS to America. If you're leaving it, leave it behind. Come to America and be American like the rest of us. That's how it should be.
So we got Maroons again. 900 million could help fix our homeless problems. Probably 900 million to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, here's a funny, interesting thing is, and I get the sentiment here, but Milton Friedman famously said this: if you subsidize anything that you subsidize, you'll get more of. So, and this has been proven time and time again. Anytime the government has an initiative to do something, eliminate something, you'll end up with more of it. So when you try to end poverty, you end up with more poverty by subsidizing basically, that way of life. Or what people need. There are certain people that just need to be institutionalized, and that's a sad part. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
So some people have just lost their minds, and they need to be taken care of, and like not, they need to be in an institution where they can be taken care of, and not in the streets, damaging things and making everybody else's lives miserable. But then there's other people that just need help. They need some sort of help, and a lot of times, who the best people for that are? Local churches or your local community centers, things like that, where people voluntarily do things. Just throwing government money at things often causes more problems. Yeah. But I get the sentiment. $900 million should not be given to some foreign country. There are things that need to be done.
Well, beyond that, I did a tabulation. We're over 25 billion now sent to Ukraine. 25 billion. So at this point, it's like we could have solved so many problems or given people a huge break. Like 25 billion is not chump change anymore.
And it's not money. It's not money that we had that we gave them. It's money that future generations are going to be taxed for. And that's a crime. That's a generational crime. To talk about taxation without representation. The people who are paying that aren't even born today yet.
Yeah,
they're not even born. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. We got Javin Blue saying European nations have been colonized. Probably is what it meant. Russia worth $72 trillion. Put it together. Why NATO wants Russia.
What, suggesting that NATO wants Russia? That's like the goal? Is that?
Yeah, potentially. If they're going to lose the U.S., then Russia's going to. I don't
know. First of all, Russia's not worth that much money. I mean, we have a larger. I think we have a larger GDP than Russia. I'm more worried about NATO eyeing us. So yes, we've been a colony of Europe for a long time, and I'm more worried about that. I mean, I do not like how Carney is cozying up with Europe. I just don't.
Here's the thing, though. So the United States is completely against like any of this, like Canada being closer to Europe or whatever. the United States definitely has an interest in making sure that North America is controlled, predominantly by U.S. interests. The whole Monroe Doctrine, that sort of thing. If they made moves towards that, well, what's NATO going to do if the U.S. just pulls out and stops funding it?
Well,
I
he said
mean-
it. The conference is going on in Turkey right now, and Trump's not there. He stayed at home. He doesn't give a shit. But he reiterated that, like, I've been spending to protect you guys forever and ever, including Canada. He singled out Canada, so it's yeah. Listen,
Carney even
we
admitted
got to
it
try and
just
get through
today.
these. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I hear my neighbor here and Karen are talking about this. I want to go catch up on the incident. So yeah.
Yeah. Alberta president, member for 51 months, says, trust me, bro. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bember, for 51. That's amazing.
Yeah. Roscoe Pico, Brookfield is heavily invested into nuclear power plants that Russia took control of. Canada's funding a war for Brookfield.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to dedicate a show to Brookfield one of these days, right? One of these days, the three of us, the four of us, maybe we need to bring Moose also in on the discussion, right? Moose on the loose, because or Andy or others, like the Brookfield umbrella is big. Like, you can't turn a rock in Parliament Hill on any policy and not find Brookfield. Guaranteed.
Nope.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Should disqualify Carney just because of that.
Which at the end of the day is why I don't think Carney will be prime minister for more than one term, because he's pushing his luck with this, and then he'll push it. He's literally giggling on the side. Like, when he was doing a press conference with EB last week, he was giggling. Like, I got him. I got my condos. We're good. Like, he was giggling.
Yeah, Javelin Blue says, my solution, if I get a letter from the RCMP, forwarding it to the White House.
Yeah,
That's
don't answer
great.
the door. That's a fact. I've already, like, I'm upset at my wife. If somebody's knocking on the door, walk around from the front and go, hi, what are you doing here? How can I help you? Do not open the door. Do not open the door. You open the door, they put their foot in the door, and they're in.
Yeah.
Myron says Jolie needs to stop spending her tax dollars on booze. If she's sobered up, she might actually be able to do her job.
See, we're mocking her, and she doesn't like that, right? She doesn't
No.
like that. Well, don't do anything worth mocking.
Yeah, well, come for me. I'm in Texas. You know where to find me. Canadian government.
Yeah, Javelin Blue says makes sense why they want the guns.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
It was brilliant of the Americans. They realized it right away. It's the Second Amendment for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You got Van C guy. We could talk about COVID stuff, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Remember when Justina made the threat, he knew the clot shot didn't stop transmission. He knew, Tam knew, because it wasn't tested to stop transmission.
Yeah, it was all a lie. Everything was a lie.
I can't.
And they knew it was a lie.
I'm still. What, I don't know if it's reverse. 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through this book, and there's a new edition, but the scientific papers around COVID are finally being released, and like, they were censored, man. We couldn't find out what's going on, right? But there was a lot of people raising alarms. They just all got silenced. So this is a great book. This whole book is just literally all about hundreds of papers of people who said that, like, it's not being alarm bells were raised everywhere, man, everywhere. I hope the truth comes out someday. I hope somebody's held accountable, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Will. I think it will in America. I don't have faith in Canada. Like, look at America. So Jay Bhattacharya was part of the group of doctors that came forward about it. Now he's the head of NIH, right?
Like, even in the tweet here, they mentioned Dr. Tam. Like, she, what are we going to do? We'll give her a medal and an appointment instead of prosecuting her. Like, again, Tamara Lich, criminal. People want her in jail forever, and then somebody, like, who's the real criminal? Tamara Lich, Dr. Tam. Like put them on the scale. Who's worse?
Bonnie Henry in British Columbia. She's holy crap.
Yeah. I'm sinking in my chair.
Javin Blue, think political dissidents will start going missing.
Yeah.
Well, they'll go missing online first, and they'll quiet us, they'll silence us online, and then they want to. I know they do. Yeah, Jolie's.
Except for Clyde, he's in America, so he can talk.
I'm protected by the First Amendment. Come at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mark of the beast.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people are. It had some parallels, right? You're without the mark of the beast, you weren't allowed to engage in commerce and all this other stuff. Outcast from society. Yeah, a lot of parallels.
Mm-hmm. Javin Blue again says, "Do you think we have so much technology we'll destroy ourselves?"
We've been good at preventing it until now. Hopefully we continue. I mean, like I know it's referencing to AI, but I mean, we've had nuclear, I think we had enough nuclear weapons to destroy ourselves a few times over if we wanted. So luckily we have something in here that kicks in once in a while and says, we shouldn't do that. But
keep him away from me.
It's not the lack of technology. I'll answer this. Is there enough technology to destroy ourselves? Damn right there is. 100% there is. Yeah. But luckily when we walk by that red element on the stove and the temptation to put our hand on it, something kicks in and we don't do it. You know that some people don't have that reflex, right? Like there's, I don't know what it's called, but some people don't have I guess it's a form of autism or whatever. Some people hurt themselves. They don't have
Wow. So
they don't have reflex.
They don't last very long.
Yeah. What's it called, Yuji? What did you say? Or
the reflex?
It's more like it's
self-preservation.
Self-preservation. You know what I mean? Like we naturally, humans and animals, as an instinct, do have a lot of self-protection instincts. Like you can take almost any animal, a small cat, a dog, and push it towards the edge of, let's say, the bed, and then there'll be some resistance. They know that if you don't want to fall off. But some humans don't have that capacity, and they constantly hurt themselves.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Javin Blue says, when I said side by side, different BC Alberta shows talking about.
Oh right, yeah. Very different cultures. BC and Alberta.
Surprisingly different. It is surprisingly different. Yeah.
I'm not part of the problem. We know her.
Yeah. Trish.
Yeah. I had fun watching the videos of Europeans traveling. Europeans Texas barbecue and the American people. It was fun watching the faces for the first bite. They love US.
Oh man. I couldn't believe they didn't know what ranch dressing was in Europe. And people were having their ranch dressing confiscated from them because they tried to put it in their carry-on. Well, they're taking tons of ranch dressing back to Europe.
And I think Trish is talking about, I mean, there's that genre of video exists in general, but there's been a lot of them because of the World Cup, right? So the World Cup is hosting barbecue. Oh, I mean, good barbecue, right? Like good American barbecue. Like, wow.
Right here in Texas.
Yeah, you sit there and you're like, I'm only allowed one. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow then, because you want to try it all. You bet.
But yeah, so this is a thing that came about because of the World Cup, because people have been propagandized in Europe, in Canada, all over the place to despise America and Americans and American culture. And they always have this thing where, oh, the food in America is toxic and terrible. They do this so that they can have trade embargoes on American products coming to Europe, right? And Europeans came over and they discovered that American food is really freaking awesome. There's a reason why there's obesity.
It's awesome, but there's also, I mean, there's some really funny videos too of people trying American foods that you go, that can't be real, but it is real, right? Like Americans gave us cheese in a can, right? Like
spray cheese.
Spray cheese, yeah.
There's all cheese. Javin Blue saying a third worlders, she meant the dog. That's what she was talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. Certain cultures who don't like
dogs. Not gonna lie, it crossed my mind. It crossed my mind. It crossed my mind.
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the cats. Myron says we are paying those taxes right now. The future is dystopian.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And Japan Blue, Russia's resources are worth $72 trillion. EU, NATO want them. If they could get them, they're coming after Canada's resources.
That I agree with. Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with that. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's easier to come after ours right now. So they're, you know, Russia's pretty safe. So they're turning their, because Europe is broke. NATO's broke. Europe is broke. And so they're turning back to us. Donald Trump knows that. I'm not bailing you out anymore. So who's left? We're left. We're there.
Well, Trump called it years ago, and they laughed at him when he said, you're going to turn around and you're going to be reliant on Russian energy." And they all laughed.
Yeah.
And there they are in Germany, right? So, crazy.
Yeah. Aaron says, head to Meat Church for barbecue.
Meat Church for barbecue. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
And that's all the comments.
All right. Well,
Holy
thanks
smokes.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for coming out. This is amazing turnout, considering we haven't really been posting videos on the channel and missed 2 weeks. Sometimes the algorithm doesn't let you bounce back right away. You gotta,
So I'm on next week. We're all good. I mean, I'm leaving. That's the other thing. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I'm going up north, set up the hunting camp. But just on the algorithm, when I left to go hike in BC and I came back and I got back, I locked down my account on X. People were upset, right? Like, why'd you lock down your account? I'm like, in case I get attacked. If I get attacked, I can't defend myself when I'm not there. Anyways, when I unlocked my account, holy smokes, man. Something happened to the algorithm. I've had like bonkers engagements in the last week. So it's good to it's good to go away. It's like we've talked about the algorithm, right? You can't forecast, predict it. But this kind of like tonight looks a bit like that. Like we take a break and then you come back and things are good. Yeah,
awesome.
But we'll be back next week, right? Full normal show. Well, this was a normal show. Nothing. Full normal show.
Yeah, we'll be back at the normal time, but we're going to discuss perhaps starting the show a bit earlier. That might be something we do in the future. But next week we'll do the same time. So it'll be
Awesome.
6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Check your local time and figure it out. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for hosting, Yuchi. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to run. Sorry to bail, but I'll see you guys next week. All right.
Hey, Marty.
Good night. Cheers.
And end stream.
Good night, everyone.